What's good, everybody, man? This is your boy Brady Sr. giving you the OMFL news after dark. We're going to talk about players of the week, power rankings, the too soon playoff picture, and then we'll also deep dive into some news of not this season, but the next season being the final season of this cycle. But hey yo, I'm glad to be back. Stay locked, stay tuned. It's your boy Brady. We'll be right back after this. Yeah. All right, man. What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Sr., man, giving you the OMFL news after dark. Like I said, man, your boy been on a little hiatus, man. It's AAU season. Finally got stuff kicking off for the, upcoming basketball season. Your boy is going to be coaching 3 squads. Got me a 6th grade group, 7th grade, and a freshman squad. Pretty hyped about my 6th and my freshman squads. I'm hoping... I have a feeling that those groups are actually, be real competitive and actually, make some noise this AAU season. 7th grade group, that's going to be a work in progress because we got some definitely some new pieces. But enough about AAU because I could talk to y'all about that all motherfucking day. But let's go ahead and talk about previous week's player of the week. Offensive side went to DeAndre Hopkins with 11 catches, 148 yards, 3 TDs. And then the defensive player of the week for last week was Sean Murphy Bunting. 12 tackles, no sacks, no interceptions, and no forced fumbles, but 12 tackles. Good Lord. The man was chasing the ball down. But, yeah, man, we'll be right back after this, man. We'll talk about those power rankings, and then we'll move on into that too soon postseason race. Hey, what's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Sr. Doing what we do, man. The OMFL news after dark, man. And we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this power rankings real quick. I don't know what beat I selected, but we're gonna roll with it though. Sound like some Walking Dead-ish right here. But anyway, man, power rankings as it stands currently. I want to say we're in week 8. No, we're in week 7. Yeah, we're in week 7. Week 7. Getting ready to go into week 8 because then that's my bye week. So currently week 7. Cardinals are 7-0. Chiefs are 5-1. Seahawks are 6-1. Giants are 7-1. Lions are 6-1. The Chargers are 5-1. The Browns, and what in the hell am I doing? Why am I giving you guys the records? Anyway, the Browns are 5-1. Panthers are 6-2, and then the Patriots are 4-4, and then the Saints are 4-3. And in the order of records, you have Cardinals at 1, Chiefs at 2, Seahawks at 3, Giants at 4, Lions at 5, Chargers at 6. The Browns at 7, the Panthers at 8, Patriots at 9, and the Saints at 10. That is the power rankings, and I, for the love of God, don't know why I gave you guys everybody's record. I ain't been doing this for a while. Knocking the rust off. Peace. Yo, what's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Senior, man, giving you the OMFL news at the dark. As always, man, definitely make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, and definitely share this ish. Because, I mean, grown folk community, man, we got more than just the OMFL, man. You have the ATG, the NBC, you have the Deuce, and you also have the TFL. We also give you shooting, leagues and stuff like that, like games for clans and stuff like that. And there's also a tight little section that Nate actually gives for spiritual awareness and possible growth. That way, if you need to go in and kind of chat, about how you feel and whatnot, I think that's a pretty cool space to kind of, reach out to someone, just kind of talk about what you're going through outside of the gaming world. But with that being said, man, let's go ahead and dive over here to this too soon postseason race. So on the AFC side, man, you got the Kansas City Chiefs at the 1, Browns at the 2, Patriots at the 3, Colts at the 4. You have the Chargers at the 5, Texans at the 6, Bengals at the 7, and then on the bubble you have my Jags at 8, Broncos at 9, and the Titans at 10. Over in the NFC side, it's a little bit more daunting, man, when you look at the records between AFC and NFC. But anyway, man, Cardinals at the 1, Giants at the 2, Lions at the 3, Panthers at the 4, Seahawks at the 5, Saints at 6, Vikings at 7, and then of course the bubble teams are the Bears at 8, Cowboys at 9, and the Washington football team at 10. And we're actually going to be talking about the Giants and the Cowboys here up next, because they had themselves a little battle of the NFC East. And I believe the Giants came out on top in game of the week. So, hey, like I said, man, trying to knock the rust off. I ain't been doing this for a while. Just kind of been really, really busy with AAU stuff. So, yeah, we'll be right back after this, man. And then we'll close this bad boy up with the game of the week and toss this on over to Nate in the Press Pass Live. Deuces. I'm throwing up the peace sign like y'all can see me. It don't work that way. What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Senior, man. Gonna go ahead and close this bad boy out with game of the week. And man, thanks for following me throughout the year. As things start to pick up with AAU ball, you might have to record a little bit sooner. But yeah, man, I truly like what I do, what I bring to the OMFL, and hopefully I can keep it going. But I apologize, I've been away. Just trying to get this stuff situated, man. Three teams, I'm gonna be running. But with that being said, man, game of the week this week was the Giants versus the Cowboys, and it looks like the Giants and their stud halfback, Mr. Grant, was able to secure the win 38-26. It looks like Prescott had 11 for 16, 229, 2 TDs. And congrats to Mr. Dak Prescott in real life, as he was able to secure the bag. Was able to get his money, get paid. But anyway, back to the video game, man. Grant had 13 carries, 107 yards, and a TD. Hardman had 5 catches, 110 for a TD. And then Carter was the highlight defensive man with 4 tackles, 2 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. And then on the losing end, the Cowboys, it looks like Beasley was 26 for 39, 382, 1 TD, 1 interception. Elliott was 14 carries for 87 yards and a TD. Lamb had 12 catches, 202 for a TD. And then defensive man was Jay Smith, 4 tackles and a forced fumble. But yeah, man, that's it. That's all I got. We about to ship this motherfucker over to Nate and the Press Pass Live crew. And maybe one of these days, man, I might be able to, get in contact with him and get on there and run a show with him. But in the meantime, man, peace, love, and as always, motherfucking hair grease. This is your boy Brady Sr. signing off. Yay! Hey. It's the Press Pass Live, bitches.
This is the OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Name. Here's another OMFL production.
What's up, everybody? I think I gotta fix. Let me check real quick because last time I was with you guys. Oop, that's not what I want. Last time I was with with my game. Yep, we're gonna clear that to 0. There we go. Now we should be synced up. I had to desync my audio because it was all messed up, and I didn't put it back because now it should be good. Made a lot of changes, so hopefully the quality will be better, and hopefully we can get where we want to be. Welcome to Press Pass Live, your weekly OMFL podcast show. I'm glad that you're with me here tonight. It's an hour earlier, even though it's not really an hour earlier. It just feels like an hour earlier because of the time change. Nobody's in chat, but I see that you guys are here. Let me know what you think about time change. I don't know how I feel about it. It is not my favorite thing in the world, even though I do like it after you kind of adjust because I like having the daylight later in the day. This whole getting adjusted to everything feels like it's early for the first couple of days is tough to kind of get used to. But we're going to talk all about the OMFL. We are in week 9, and what I read in Discord, even though I can't advance because my luck, I will go to advance and someone else will advance and we'll double advance and somebody will be greatly upset at me. But anyway, hopefully one of the board members will hop on and advance us while we're here tonight. But we're in week 9. We'll be in week 10 here in the next couple of minutes. Within an hour for sure. I'll advance us if nobody did after Press Pass Live is over with. So we're going to talk about some of my favorite games. We're going to look at a couple of impact rookies, some rookies that are out there making a difference on their teams, a couple of surprises. There's definitely some surprises that are happening. And then the future of the OMFL and where we are. Not a fan of what? What are you not a fan of, Penguins? I'm very confused. You got to give me some more context of what you're not a fan of. So anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Let's get over here. I was supposed to change the overlay to the new, for the Press Pass overlay, not this overlay, which is my game overlay, my weekly games. But crazy me set it up like a weekly game. And then after I turned it on, I went, oh crap, it's supposed to be on the Hex one. So I'll have it fixed next time that we're all together and all on. And it should work out pretty good. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Let's just jump right into it. Penguins, you got to give me a little bit more information about what you're not a fan of, even though it looks like it's lagging for some reason, because I see that you answered over there. Oh, duh. You see, that's how out of it I am right now. I asked a question, nobody responded immediately, and then I got totally lost. Yeah, it's tough to get adjusted to it first, but I'd much rather that than what happens in the fall or the winter whenever we lose an hour and then you go to work and it's dark and you get off and it's dark and it's just dark all the time. I'm not a fan of that either. So here's the number one surprise I want to talk about. Where have all the good games gone? I mean, it feels like every game is a blowout. We need to make some slider adjustments. I got to be honest, guys. I'm drowning at work right now. I just can't keep up. I'm barely getting my games in. I'm barely, creating media right now. It's just that time of a season for me that happens from time to time where I'm just keeping my head above water. I promise you this week I'll talk with the board, see what changes need to be made. It seems like the running game is a bit easy, and so maybe we just do a slight tick on the tackling. I think that might be the only change that I've heard discussed, but honestly, I need some help from my board who is also very busy right now, and we're all just kind of struggling with keeping up right now. So I've got an idea. If you remind me to toss out my idea for FPR. I'm going to throw this at the board this week. I think some people are going to absolutely hate it, but I think it's creative. I think it's unique. It's innovative, and it might be just something different to solve the issue that we have with keeping up with FPR, because that's a full-time job, and it's what bogs us down the most as a board and kind of keeping up. And even though I've explained many times that Trey doesn't do anything other than look at the feedback and tell me when there's feedback that needs to be looked at, he doesn't do anything else. I do everything else. He'll watch a film from time to time. Dwayne watches film for me. Sometimes I'll tap Rob, Denbrew when he's not super busy. That's about it. I kind of do everything else. But anyway, I've gotten off track. I'm like a rabbit tonight. I'm chasing everything that's going on. But where have all the good games gone, man? It's crazy, these scores so far. It was kind of hard to pick my favorite game or the game that I thought I wanted to talk about. Trey, this one's going to hurt a little bit if you're here tonight, but I got to talk about the Detroit Lions and Los Angeles Clippers. I said the Clippers because the Penguins. I said the Penguins because Penguins. You see, I'm out of it. I need a nap. I said Penguins because I seen Penguins. I met Pelicans. I said Clippers because the Pelicans played the Clippers, and I'm looking at the Chargers. None of it makes sense, but that's what's happening in my brain tonight. So anyway, the Chargers and Lions played to an instant classic game here. This one came with a little bit of a heat because Trey broke the 4th down rule and then did something you probably should never openly admit to here, and that is he didn't know that there was a 4th down rule and thought he could go for it when the game said he could go for it. And so on him, he'll get a warning for that. Even though, okay, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to make nobody mad. But anyway, some people think I don't do anything to certain people, and that's not true, and that's not fair, and I wish that you were nicer. I will give him a warning, as he should get, and after that, we will kind of move on, because nobody's perfect. So let me just say that at the tippy top of the show here. We'll talk about FPR in a little bit, but no one is supposed to be perfect. I expect nobody to be perfect here, not even me or board members. Every now and then things happen. Every now and then somebody has a brain fart, makes a mistake, hits a click, calls the wrong play. Like, things happen. It's what follows up after the happening, right? You click and intercept the ball, maybe you punt it right back. If you pick up a 1st down when you shouldn't have, maybe you punt the ball. Like, I mean, there is no perfect answer all the time. There is no black and white. Things happen, and we need to show some mercy and grace to one another and be just a little bit nicer to each other. So hopefully that can happen. Also, Penguins, let me know if my audio is bad. It shouldn't be bad. It should be nice and synced up, but we'll see what you guys say. Also, let me know if the music's bothering you. I'll turn the music off if so. I just like to have a little music going on while we do this, and I have it turned down. So anyway, 364 passing yards to 328. These two quarterbacks were outstanding this game, two of the top quarterbacks in this league, even though Worthington has been tossed around a lot of teams, a lot of times. He has found a home in Detroit, and they're playing really good football with him. There was no rushing game this one, though, which is a bit of a surprise because rushing seems to be a bit easy. 67 to 48. This seemed to be about the go and blow. These guys were just tossing the ball around and making all kinds of plays. Two third down conversions, which is a super low percentage, to 7 third down conversions for the Chargers, 2 turnovers to only 1 turnover, and then the time of possession massively for the Chargers, 25-38 to 14-12. What's up, Outlaw? We haven't seen you on one of these shows in quite some time. Herbert, 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Worthington, 3 and 2, but both of these guys tossing it all around the place. 2 sacks for Worthington, but 80% completion percentage for Justin Herbert. It seems like we've seen an uptick in percentages, even though in this game you see Worthington only had 59. So that's what makes me hesitate about making any changes there, is because I just don't want to overreact, right? Like, we could really mess some things up. I think tackling may get a little bit of a bump because the rushing game seems to be a bit easy. Johnson here, 8.3 average, but only touched the ball 3 times this game. Clyde Edwards, it hurts me that he is not in New Orleans, but he did not have a good game. This one receiving, look at these guys. Allen, 132-1. Shark. Wait a second. I didn't know Shark played for the Lions. I told Brady if he ever traded him to holler at me. Was he a free agent? Maybe he was a free agent. I don't know. I can't keep up around here. 116 yards, 1 touchdown. That hurts my heart that he's not in New Orleans. 5 for 103 was Galloway, and then Vincent 8 for 95. Hickerson even threw in 87 there. Look at the defense really quick. Tackles for loss. He had Davis with 2. He's got some stud linebackers and defensive backs. That defense with Derby and Glenn, they're unbelievable. 1.5 sacks for Bosa, 0.5 sack for Cruz, and then 1 interception for Derby, 1 interception for Murray, and 1 interception for James. This game went down to the wire, but really good victory there for the Chargers, and good on him, man. He needed that victory, and that was a really, really good game. I want to talk about a couple of surprises here, but before I do, I want you to do me a favor. We rarely do we used to stop in between segments and do advertisements, but I kind of stopped doing that because it felt like it bogged me down to remember to do it every time. But I want you to stop right now. I want you to go do 2 things, all right? 3 things. Twitter. Yeah, I can't believe it, Brady. I asked if you ever traded Shark, just give me a shot. Clearly, you was upset at me, whatever, and I didn't even get a shot at him, but whatever. It is what it is. Do me a favor. Go to Twitter. I want you to follow TMZ Media. I think that's right. I could be wrong on that now. Now that I think about it, let me see. I'll tell you real quick because I'm going to look on Discord. Thank you, Brady, for doing a OMFL news for us. We understand how busy you are, and I know that those may be rare to get our hands on. TGZ Media, that's the Game Zone. That's our guys over at Soden Bowl. That is their Madden community. Go follow them on Twitter. Also follow League Crawler and Daddy Leagues. And then I want you to go to League Crawler and I want you to sign up for a profile. I want you to make a post about the OMFL. You'll see, you can find us under Madden, and I want you to give us a rating and give us a post. Help us support our friends at Soden, help us support our friends at League Crawler, and help us support our friends at Daddy Leagues. Those 3 humans do a lot for us, and we appreciate them, and I appreciate all that they're doing for the Madden community. All right, let's talk about some teams that are surprising, and you can't talk about surprising teams without going and talking about our guy over here with the Dallas Cowboys. He's sitting at 4-4. He's given up 243. He's scored 243 points, but he's given up 188. But that just hasn't been enough for him. This is usually what you would like to see from him. I don't know if it's the quarterback situation. I don't know if it's play calling. I'm not sure what his struggles are. He and I kind of talked a little bit, and I don't remember if he had an exact answer because I was playing a game. He was in chat, but he has really struggled this year, and that's just not something that you see from him. So it's a surprise to see this team struggle, as well as the Washington football team. Rob has a really good team, but he tends to turn the ball over a little too much. He's lost a couple of games that have just gotten away from him late, even though he's had control of them early, and this one got away. This season is getting away from him, and he and I talked, and it was actually really disappointing. It seems like he's kind of given up on this season. I don't want to put words in his mouth or put him on blast, but like he seems like he's given up on this Madden. He's just not maybe having fun right now. I don't know. You can't really speak for other people. It just sucks because when Rob is on and he's enjoying himself, this is a fun team. This is a powerful team. And these are two massive surprises, in my view, early in the season. The other one, the Seahawks, 7-1. He really handled me when I played him. That defense is unbelievable. His quarterback, Wilson, is able to make plenty. I think at 7-1, that's a massive surprise. He's going to give the Cardinals something to think about as their season goes on. The Falcons and Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have had a little bit of life happen to him. That's caused him to have to pull home. And so that's really hurt his team as he hasn't been able to play a couple of his games. But I don't know what's happened to the Falcons. Number one, I don't even hear from him. So I don't know if he's just busy with school or work or life. But his team has taken a massive step back after really being a force in the OMFL since day one of taking over that team. It's really been a hurt for him. Now it looks like my internet is doing one of its hiccup things. So we'll give it a second to see if it comes back. And while it does, I will take a drink of water. It makes no sense why this internet does this. Like just randomly. It will just randomly. Makes no sense at all. It kind of drives me insane. Yeah, now we're back. See, just random. That makes no sense. None. I get 1,000 download and 35 upload, which is plenty fast enough. And just out of nowhere, it totally cans and then comes back in like 30 seconds. It just makes no sense, guys. It drives me insane. Yeah, I stopped talking 2 minutes ago, Brady, because I seen that it crapped out, and it makes no sense. It literally makes me angry. And it's fine now. Like it's just, yeah, it is what it is. So anyway, Falcons are a big surprise to me this season. Anyway, no, I do not want your internet. I'll take a pass on that. The Packers have been a surprise at 3-5. The Bears have been a surprise at 3-5. I figured that they would be much better teams, and you would, especially the Packers after the great season that they had last year. It's great, a good surprise to see the Chargers at 7-1, playing really good football and playing strong over there. This is a weird division. Bills at 0-7-1, even though they had a really close game against the Eagles this week. Outlaw, like I expect you to be better. I'm expecting some steps in the right direction. You've built a good team. You have it in you. You just have to play more consistent. What has happened to the Dolphins? 136 points for his team, 271 against him. I don't have any answers. I haven't asked him. We haven't talked. Like I don't know. This is one of our top teams. Excuse me, and I have no clue why. At 1-7, it's just a big surprise. The Jets and Tim seem to be struggling, turning the corner. This is really going to be the Patriots division. He's just got to win a couple more games, and this one's already sewed up. A good surprise, the Texans at 4-4, the Colts at 4-4. Bad surprise, the Jaguars at 3-5, and the Titans at 4-4. This seems like the old NFC North back in the day. I have no clue what's up with this division. Don't know what's up with the Titans. They made a lot of big moves to bring in big players. He's got a good team, but something is off here. Don't know. Maybe, Brady, you're here tonight, but I know that you're very busy. It seems like when you're busy, your team takes a back stand as it needs to, and maybe that's what's happening here. Beal has always been that little up and down, inconsistent, and the Texans, they jumped out to the big lead, but they've taken a couple of steps back here recently. It's going to be surprising to see who can take that division. Here's another division that's going to be really close. No one's really running away from it. No real surprises outside of maybe the Ravens at 3-6. That team was in the Super Bowl year one. Year two was right there, almost in the bowl game. Had to take a step back in year three. I figured in year four he would bounce back. that hasn't happened. And so those are a couple of my surprises and a couple teams that were just kind of catching my eye, because I would expect them to either play better or be better than they are, or they're playing better than I thought that they would be right now. Let's go look at a couple of rookies real quick. Well, that last little hiccup was a little weird, but let's look at a couple of teams that are surprising me. Let's get over here to our Daddy Leagues page. I'm going to look at a couple, not teams that are surprising. We just talked about that. I'm going to look at a couple of rookies that are surprising me, because there are definitely some rookies in this league that are making a hell of a good season. And they're going to be some fun rookie of the year races that we see come down to the wire. Ryan Moore, the quarterback for the Houston Texans, I don't know that he'll win rookie of the year because, well, Grant is doing what Grant's doing. I don't think anybody's going to beat him. But Moore is a very good quarterback out of a year that does not have a lot of good quarterbacks. That last draft, there was, one could argue almost no draftable quarterbacks, especially no starting quarterbacks, but he gets this Ryan Moore kid. He's played exceptionally well with him with 1,837 yards. Let's look if we can look down into a couple of stats for him. He's got 12 touchdowns. He's given up 10 sacks, which isn't great for him. 17 interceptions, but that happens whenever you have a rookie quarterback. He's got a QBR of 74.7 with a 59 quarterback percentage. Look, for a guy who is, what is he overall? 67 overall. That's a tip to the cap, man. Good on you, because that's really hard to do. Like, this one's going to be, we're going to save Grant to the end. Let's look at a couple of receivers here. Luke Lorendale for the Rams, having a great season, 875 yards. Robert Gabe for Cleveland, 868 yards. Devontae Duane, 794 yards. Those are the three top receivers. Look, I want to brag about Black, but if you compare him to these other dudes, he's not putting up the stats. Only 469 receiving yards, even though for me, he's been tremendous. He's been a really great receiver. He's made some great plays. He got hurt one game, and so he didn't play a whole game. But outside of that, he's played really, really, really good for me. It's just Thomas, like my last game, Thomas went off, and so Black didn't get a lot of the catches. I think 2 games before that, Thomas went off again. And so, when Thomas is going off, I got to feed Thomas to keep him going, and Black doesn't really get a lot of attention. But this guy is playing superb for me. If the Saints do something crazy for a quarterback, Black will be the guy I bring over with me, because he is playing superb. But you've got a couple receivers playing really great. This really is going to be about Grant and what he's doing in New York. Look, New York finally has them a running back that they can brag about. This guy's only 69 overall, but he is playing tremendous football. 1,248 rushing yards, a 7.1 average, and 20 touchdowns. He's on pace to break the OMFL record for touchdowns. He could break 2,000 yards. We're only a little past halfway this season. If you look at his attributes, like nothing extremely jumps out to you. Only 69 strength. The 93 speed is pretty great, but only 89 acceleration. There's just not a ton here that you look at, except for the change of direction. That's really good for him. But nothing else here like really jumps out to you. Only 69 catch. Like his truck is 76, which is not too bad. Break tackle 93, that's pretty superb. Change of direction 87. So those two stats jump off the page at you, but nothing else really does. It's just Mode finally paying attention to the run game, putting his money into that offensive line, and I don't know, man. We may see another repeat champion here in the OMFL. I know Penguins is going to have something to say about that. I know that you're going to see the Seahawks try to make a run at it. D-Money is going to want to get right back in there. It's going to be interesting to see how this season plays out as we come to the really stretch where we're going to see the really great teams separate themselves from the not so great teams. Matter of fact, speaking of teams, let's look at a quick early look at what the playoffs would be if they ended today. Let's get over here. We got the Kansas City Chiefs in the number 1 seed, Cleveland Browns number 2, Houston Texans in the number 3. What's up, Maniac? Good to see you, man. The Patriots at number 4. The Chargers at 5. Bengals at 6. And Colts at 7. Chargers, one of the top number 5 teams that you will ever see at the number 5 seed. That is a 7-1 team. Over in the NFC, you got the Cardinals at number 1, the Giants at number 2, the Lions at 3, the Panthers at 4, the Seahawks at 5, the Saints at 6, and the Eagles at 7. So good on them, man. The Eagles really fighting to turn some things around. A lot of football left, though. We're in week 9. We're going to be in week 10 here. So if I'm doing my math right, eight games left. So a little over half the games left to be played here. I have a feeling I'm not doing my math right. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. A lot of football left to be played. Things are going to really turn around in the next 3 to 5 weeks, and we're really going to start to see a difference in what these teams are doing. All right, let's get over here to some Press Pass Live questions. Let me do a quick refresh because it looked like my guy Lost, who always comes through in the clutch for me, was the only one that had some questions to submit, and it does look like that's all we're going to have. If you got some questions, though, in chat, I'd love to hear from you. Just hear what you guys got going on. Oh, let me get back over here. Number 1, this is a good question. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking as you read this. Power rusher versus speed rusher on the D-line. And I think that's a tough question because we've seen a little bit of both be successful, whether it was the Chiefs defensive end, whether it was the Giants Hunter last year. We've seen some defensive ends with a lot of speed and not a lot of strength take over in this league and make some runs to almost break the sack record, it feels like, every time, even though that may not be broken after last Madden ever. But we've also seen some of the big guys make some plays and be able to lead in the sacks. Let's get back over here and we can look at the sack leaders right now. Let's see what our sack leaders are. So you got Chase Young. That's going to be a speed guy. I always mess up this guy's name, but he's going to be a speed guy. Manny Smallwood, I would assume, is a speed guy. No, I could be wrong on that. Yeah, he's a speed rusher according to this. 85 speed. Hunter's going to be a speed guy. I have no clue who this guy is. Speed rusher. So according to this, it looks like speed rushers are going to be the best guys. I mean, even the Eagles here have a speed rusher. And so he's saying with the current settings, he's getting more pressure and sacks with power rushers versus speed rushers. I'm not kind of seeing that, though. I'm kind of seeing it looks like speed rushers tend to be what is getting the most pressure here. And even for me, right, I have a power rusher in my big defensive end that I've got out there, and I feel like I get no pressure at all. Pickney just doesn't get the pressure I thought that he would. I probably should move him to defensive tackle, but I'm running a 3-4. He fits in the 3-4 outside defensive end instead of inside, where I need a big guy to hold a couple blocks. I think that's an interesting question, but it feels like speed rushers are really the only way to go. If you're a team like me that doesn't have any speed rushers at all, you're going to be in trouble, and I'm pretty much in trouble. I have no speed rushers at all that I can put out there, and the few guys that I do get no pressure because they're rookies who don't play all that well. Number two, does anyone have a good external drive for PS5 that's working great? That's a really good question. I have one that I haven't hooked up to the PS5, but I had one on the PS4, and I think it was just a Seagate or whatever. I got it from Best Buy. It was they market it as a PlayStation drive that you can add on. It was super easy. It took less than 5 minutes to get plugged in. It did everything on its own. It was kind of plug and play, and it worked really great. My kid is using it on his PS5 now, and it seems to be working really, really good. And I think if you just look at the Seagates, they'll work really well. I've got a big one that I'm going to hook up soon because I'm starting to fill out my PlayStation 5, and I'll let you know how that goes. I don't even remember what kind it is. I think it's just one of the normal ones, whatever that name brand is, that is the normal drives that you have out there. So good question. Outlaw in the chat got a question. What import rookie deal is over? What happens to his contract in 2022? Oh, I got you. You have to re-sign him. If he's a free agent when we leave, you don't get to bring him. You have to re-sign him, and if he's in the last year of his deal, then he'll start the next season in the last year of his deal. So we will advance to the new season. So we're gonna play next season, which I think is season 5. We're gonna do the draft in off season, even though we're skip free agency. We'll just basically do the draft, but do your re-signings, put it into the regular season of season 6, and then that's where you pick your import from the start of season 6, and we'll take whatever they are there in the start of season 6, and that'll be what you have in the start of season 1 of Madden 22. Again, I kind of made that call this week that next season's our last, because it is almost middle of March, and so it'll be middle of April before we probably start the new season. So you got April, May, and probably the beginning of June. By then, vaccines are going to be readily available, and probably most people will have them who want them. The country will be opened back up. It will be the summertime, and it will be the summer after most of us have been locked up for a year, if not longer. And I'm just not going to I get it. Like, people are going to want to go outside. They're going to want to do things with their families. Sports are going to be kicking back off. I'm just not going to, I'm not going to make people feel bad for not wanting to play Madden and getting outside and being with their family. We will keep a league going. I will probably hand the PlayStation 4 one off to someone. I mean, we'll see how many people want to play and let that keep going as just a for fun situation. I have already imported this into PlayStation 5, and anybody on PlayStation 5 that wants to come play a just for fun season there, we will get that going, and we'll just take it from there. But I just feel like forcing us to do a season 6, which would be what we'd have to do. We'd have to force it down the runway, because it will be during the summer after a pandemic. It's just not going to be worth it. Yes. So Outlaw, you'll do the off season for season 5. So after we play season 5, you'll do the off season as normal. So your re-signs and everything. And if your guy's not up for re-sign and he goes into the last year of his contract for the start of season 6, that's what you're getting. If you re-sign him, then you'll get him on that contract. And we may have to be flexible with contracts when we get into the new Madden. But I think a lot like the NFL right now, whatever you get is what you get. I have no clue what to expect in Madden 22 when it comes to salary cap and situations like that. You get what you get, and you'll have to fix it. And so if you're like me and you get the Saints way over cap, you're going to have to just fix it. But hopefully that is not really a problem. So that's really it, man. That's all the questions that we've got here. That is all the stuff that we've got to go through. We've had a good 45-minute show, and really the last thing I want to talk about is the future of the league, which kind of ties into the things that we've been talking about. So let's get over here. Again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I never take it for granted that you guys take your time and come hang out with me. I've been giving a ton of thought to just kind of where we are as a community, where we are as a league. I've had some people approach me who I think mean well, but I don't know how I feel. I kind of got mixed emotions about everything, just because it feels like it's been another tough Madden. It feels like it's been a couple of tough Maddens in a row, and even though I've enjoyed the last 2, it's been tough for some of us, and this one had the big line in the sand about settings, and people didn't have a ton of fun with some of these settings. I feel like overall, for some of us, overall, in general, the fun factor is higher right now than it has been. Even though, like I said, there are a few people that are not enjoying it and put it on cruise control. I do think we need a few more adjustments. Again, mainly around the defense, and probably going to give a little bump in tackle. I guess we could go look at that right now, because that's really been the biggest thing that I've heard, is just like maybe the tackle needs a little bump. Again, we're pretty close to 50s everywhere except for pass coverage, that we gave it a little bit of a bump there. Interceptions are still pretty high. We're still seeing, some quarterbacks with less than 60%, and some quarterbacks are doing 80%. And so it's kind of all over the map. And so I don't know how much of those I really, really want to touch. So we're going to give it just a little bit of a bump here and just kind of see how that works out and what people think. I also am going to keep following the thread that kind of helped us build some of these sliders, the guy from Operation Sports that has done a lot of this work. And so we're going to go check some of that out and see kind of what he's thinking, and see if he's made any adjustments, because he puts in a lot of testing and effort. And again, I think that'll help us make sure that we're kind of staying up to track with what needs to happen here. So anyway, I've been giving a lot of thought about the community. I'm pretty burn out right now. I mean, that's just the gist of it. I've always said, though, because of how things went the last time I gave up the OMFL to somebody else, it just wasn't handled the way I thought it should have been handled. And so when my day comes, if I've got somebody that I trust, if I just know I'm done, if I'm just like done with gaming, period, I will probably hand it off. If I'm not done, though, and I just like, the community's making it harder than it should be, and maybe I'm just going to take a year break or whatever, then I won't give the name. I just won't give it up. I'm going to keep it, because I feel like I've built it, I've earned it, and it's mine. And again, the way it went down last time, it just wasn't super fun to have to deal with. So, and it's still kind of a pain in my neck a little bit. So, and I think we've touched those subjects. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot about the community, and I know a lot of people, and what's kind of pushed me to kind of making a decision is a lot of people want to know, right? A lot of people are trying to get PlayStation 5s. Some people don't care, and they're like, if you go PlayStation 5, I'll retire or whatever. I get it. And so people are wanting to make decisions about what to do with a pretty big investment. I would always say what I've said to everybody in PM: if you're buying a PlayStation 5 for the OMFL, don't do that and just retire, because you should not make an investment depending on me and my decisions in my league. I didn't buy a PlayStation 5 because of the GrownFolks or the OMFL. I bought a PlayStation 5 because I wanted I wanted the newest console. I am a gamer. I wanted the newest console. And so I stayed up lunch night and I bought the newest console. Don't ever make any financial decisions based on what we're doing. It just isn't a good financial decision to go out and make. At the same time, for those who are wanting to make that decision, I would understand that it may change your decision if we're not here as a community. And so I have decided that we will continue as a community. We will be back for Madden 22. I think we will be on a year-to-year basis, because these last 3 years have been really, really hard. Again, I've been pretty transparent, but I'm going through an extremely rough personal time right now. With some personal family issues, not with my wife, which is what 99% of people think. We're having some internal struggles as a family to, I think that's really all I want to say. We'll just kind of leave it at that. Something my wife and I are trying to help our family with and kind of work through, as well as building a church community as well, which is very, very difficult, especially during COVID, and pulls a lot of my time because I produce a lot of content, a lot of online content, and the in-person stuff is actually pretty easy and not that big of a pull, but the online content is a lot, and I spend a lot of time making content, editing content, posting content, and then work sucks right now. I don't think anybody from my work watches this, even though we got a few people in the community from my work. Work absolutely sucks right now, and it is made my life pretty miserable the last month and a half or so, and is also very busy. And like anyone, work is even harder. It's hard when it's busy. It's even harder when it's not a fun place or a healthy place to go to. And right now, my work is not a healthy place to go to. And so I've always said that I have 3 jobs that I do. I work full-time at my normal job that pays the bills, and then I work here, and I work for my church community that I don't get anything from outside of like, it's my calling and my purpose. Like, I get that from it, but I don't make any money from any of those. And they're all could be 40-hour work week jobs. Like they all be large communities. One of the things I am looking into is how could we become at GrownFolks a bigger online like content creator, and I don't know, maybe one day become a content creator, and that's how I make my money, and I can run the GrownFolks full time and run my church community full time and make my income that way. And that would be awesome. And I would love to do that for you guys, but we will be here. I have made the decision, mainly made the decision because I do know how important this place is for a handful of people. And I do know that people are trying to make decisions financially, and it is a big financial decision to buy a PlayStation 5. And just because I want to honor that and honor those decisions and what people are trying to do, I made the decision we will be back for Madden 22. And hopefully we'll be back for many, many more years to come. But I'm kind of going one Madden cycle at a time right now until we see people enjoying it. And hopefully we'll either get a game that people enjoy or people kind of get with the program and make this a little bit easier to do. Because again, the biggest reason that I kind of wavered about like, do I want to keep doing this, was simply the fact that people here made it really hard. It's really hard to keep doing this when all you have to do is deal with the poo-poo end of things, and you never hear the good things. You never hear that people enjoy the games. You never hear people enjoy the content. You never hear what people enjoy. You just hear what people don't enjoy. And when work sucks and you're kind of going through, personal things that we all kind of go through, where you're just, you got like struggles on all ends. And then you come in here for a place that you're supposed to unplug from, and you just see a bunch of angry humans. That's just tough to deal with. So we're going to keep working through it. And I believe in this community. I believe in the guys in this community. Hopefully everyone can get a 5, or we can make a decision about what we can and can't do. And hopefully we figure it out. Those things always seem to work themselves out. And hopefully we don't have a big turnaround of owners. I hope everyone that wants to come comes, and those who say, no, that's it for me, let's honor them and honor what they brought here to this community and keep on trucking from there. Because, I enjoy this community most of the time. And so I want to keep it going. All right, last little crazy idea, then we're going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Even though chat's been really quiet tonight, I appreciate the few people chatting with me just a little bit. Crazy idea. I don't even know if I want to say this out loud, because I can see where some people may hate it. The thing about FPR is that we wanted people to be honest, and there's a delicate balance between people being honest because they know no one will see it, but then whenever we have to follow up with somebody, we have to tell them what was written about them and that we're watching it. So it's never been something that I've sold as a private thing, even though your actual stuff is private. No one can actually see it except for the people that I let see it, which I think is just Dwayne, myself, and Trey. There still is, when you submit stuff on someone, we have to tell that person, hey, you had some bad feedback. So I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about putting a chat, creating a chat, a Discord channel in our Discord that's called FPR Court. And I kind of get this from the idea that wrestlers have what's called wrestling court. And whenever you have an issue, you bring them to wrestling court and someone passes judgment, and that's kind of final, and you kind of move on. The issue with FPR is when you submit it, it's hard to keep up. It's easy to give you averages at the end of the season. It's hard to watch film every week, every other day. It's hard to not only watch that film, but then take the feedback from that film and follow up with the owner. It's very difficult. It becomes a full-time job, and right now I can't keep up. And we don't have anybody else that is able to do it, to the level that it needs to be done. So, and really the only guy that I would trust having those conversations, and sometimes that I ask to have the conversations, is Dwayne, because it seems like Dwayne overall is loved and beloved as he should be. And so I'm thinking about starting a chat that is called FPL Court. And whenever you submit a 3 or less, if it's a 4, then we kind of leave it alone, unless it's a tough 4. Because sometimes guys will give 4, but it's like, oh, he blitzed me 80% of the time. Well, that's not really a 4. That's a 3 or a 2, and we got to get somebody involved. So anyway, I'm thinking about if you submit something that's a 3 or lower, then you have to go into this chat. You have to tag both myself, the board, and the owner, and you have to make your case. You have to make your case as to what you felt like the issue was. The other owner is able to give a defense of his case, and that's it. We kind of end it right there. There's no like back and forth pettiness. And if I feel like both owners are being petty, both guys will get a warning, and we just kind of move on from there. Second warning, you get put up for a vote. Third warning, you're removed immediately. So a little FPR court. If you've got an issue with somebody, then you got to be willing to come with proof. Prove it. If you can't prove it, if it's just like, he made me feel bad, that's not going to be good enough. That's not worthy of a bad FPR. You need to have some type of proof of what they did, and you prove it. The other guy gives a defense, and we pass judgment. And if a film needs to be watched, you have to link the film in there, and we'll go check it out. I think that would make it a little bit easier to keep up with. I think it also puts it out there in public where if guys are doing something they shouldn't be, it's out in the open. We can all see where someone's struggling. And again, FPR should not be submitted on something that happens once or twice. That's not black and white, okay? So for those of you who say, well, I only broke the 4th down rule once. I only broke the 80-20 rule once. That's not what I'm talking about. There's some rules that are super easy to follow, and you gotta do them. But so even like 80-20 rule, right? I think technically, I need to go look. I broke the 80-20 rule by 1 rush last game because of the way the game went. It got out of hand. It got out of hand late, like within like the last 3 minutes of the game, and I just didn't have enough rushing attempts to be able to catch it up because I needed to nail the ball. Because if you start like picking the ball off close to the end zone and nailing it out, right? Like there are some instances that keep you from doing the rules, and it wasn't because you were doing something wrong or breaking a rule. 4th down rule, okay, Trey shouldn't have done that. That's bad on him. The running to the numbers and throwing the ball, right? There's a rule that sometimes things funky happen, but you should avoid it. But funky things happen. The switch thing, every now and then, the hit stick, right? You're not supposed to hit stick until after the catch and run. Like some things sometimes just happen. Sometimes guys just forget rules. They play multiple leagues, and that's okay too. So anyway, I'm thinking about it. I'm going to toss it to the board, get their thoughts before I do it. But I thought that might be a way that I can not put the onus on me. Because right now, anybody can submit whatever they want, and they're done. They took 30 seconds to submit their issue, and they move on with their lives. The onus is on us to watch 5, 6, 7, 8 films in advance. We don't have that many. It's like 2 or 3. But that's still hard to do. That's an hour and a half of your day sitting down writing notes. And if you have 3 of those every 3 days, bro, that adds up very quickly. And so this might be a way to handle it. And again, if a guy played really well and he was 1 rush off from the 80-20 rule, don't give him a 4. Give him all 5s and move on with your life. Like, there's just some things that we just need to show a little bit more mercy and grace. And anyway, the idea will be, if you have an FPR issue, you go talk to that person first. If you and that person can't get on the same page or disagree, if you go to them and say, hey bro, it felt like you ran, 35 cover 2 zones. And the other guy's like, bro, I ran it like 4 times. And y'all can't agree? Submit it. You would go to the chat and say, hey, I feel like he ran 35 zones. I'm going to watch my film and give feedback. Like, that is how this is supposed to go. If you feel like somebody was breaking one of those rules, then you need to go watch your own film and give proof. If not, and it's like just stats, then that should be easy to submit FPR on. So anyway, it's just a thought. It's an idea. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying it's an idea. So anyway, that's going to do it for the show. It is now 11 o'clock at night. I probably need to go to bed, even though it feels like it's 10 o'clock at night, like I'm wired. I'm ready to go. Maybe some baseball put me to sleep. Baseball has a way of putting me to sleep. So anyway, I'm having fun. I hope that you guys are having fun. Content has been a little low, but shout out to Tim for doing some content. Brady for getting us some content recently. There's been a couple other articles. I gotta admit, OMFL, the other leagues are kind of outdoing us when it comes to content. And me being busy, I just can't keep up right now. And I'm usually the biggest producer of content here. And so I need you guys to step up. Let's produce some content. Let's talk about these good seasons that are taking place. So I love you. I hope that you're excited that we're coming back for Madden 22. I was also right about NCAA for all my NCAA fans. I told you it was 2 years away, and it is 2 years away. And hopefully by then, there's not as many fanboys around, and I won't have such a hate for the fanboy that comes out in people about a game that's going to be exactly like Madden. I hate to break it to everybody. It will be exactly like Madden. And all of your issues with Madden will be your issues with that game. Even though it had some cool things that I miss. I've said it before, the screen jittering before you hike the ball. If you had a low awareness quarterback was awesome. The routes going wrong or getting fuzzy, like that was an awesome little thing that I'm like, why did that ever go away? Like that should be a part of Madden. If you have low awareness, like you can't remember the play or like something like that. It's just a neat, creative way to do that. I like how the controller would rumble before the snap of a play because of the crowd. Just some really neat things that I wish would come back. But it's pretty much going to be the exact same game. It might, Maniac. I have my doubts, but it's going to be the exact same game made by the exact same people and the exact same company who still wants to make the exact same money. So my only hope is that 2K comes out with a great game and then gives us maybe an option that we can at least look at. I doubt it because I know they can't make a sim game, even though I don't know what that means exactly. So I don't know. A lot of options coming out in 2023. Yeah, 2023, I think. So anyway, I hope you guys have a really great rest of your week. Come give me a follow at natelejeune.com if you're into the stuff that we're doing at my community, my church community, Home Church 217. And then go follow our buddies at League Crawler, Soden Bowl, Daddy Leagues, and TGM. I think I got that wrong. The Game Zone, TGZ Media on Twitter. Go give them a follow. All right, guys, have a great rest of your week. God bless you. Peace and love and the hair grease stuff.
What's good, everybody, man? This is your boy Brady Sr. giving you the OMFL News After Dark. We're going to talk about Players of the Week, Power Rankings, the too soon playoff picture, and then we'll also deep dive into some news of not this season, but the next season being the final season of this cycle. But hey yo, I'm glad to be back. Stay locked, stay tuned. It's your boy Brady. We'll be right back after this. All right, man. What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Brady Senior, man, giving you the OMFL news at the dark. Like I said, man, your boy been on a little hiatus, man. It's AAU season. Finally, got stuff kicking off for the, upcoming basketball season. Your boy's gonna be coaching 3 squads. Got me a 6th grade group, 7th grade, and a freshman squad. Pretty hyped about my 6th and my freshman squads. I'm hoping. I have a feeling that those groups are actually, be real competitive and actually, make some noise this AAU season. 7th grade group, that's gonna be a work in progress because we got definitely some new pieces. But enough about AAU because I could talk to y'all about that all motherfucking day. But let's go ahead and talk about previous week's player of the week. Offensive side went to DeAndre Hopkins with 11 catches, 148 yards, 3 TDs. And then the defensive player of the week for last week was Sean Murphy Bunting. 12 tackles, no sacks, no interceptions, and no forced fumbles. 12 tackles, good Lord. The man was chasing the ball down. But, yeah, man, we'll be right back up to this, man. We'll talk about those power rankings, and then we'll move on into that too soon postseason race.